I am loading up. Today, by the end of this video, you're going to be able to see why literally there are some NFTs that have 8 to 10x for me and I'm still holding on to them, and why VeVe opening, or rather going on to Opensea, is one of the biggest opportunities, and what are some of the NFTs you should be holding on to and hodling and pretty much hoarding if you want to be able to see these massive gains. And by the end of this video, I'm going to be showing you the different stages of NFTs that you should be putting your time, focus, and energy on, and some that you should be avoiding altogether. So let's begin. Right now you can see like this Batman over here. I am holding on to 25 editions of this, and granted, you know, I bought this, you know, back in early 2021 at retail. And today I want to walk you through how VeVe, when it finally opens its doors to some NFTs, not all of them, when that happens, what it actually means and which ones you should be buying. Okay, so it works like this. Right now, if you are, first of all, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you love making money online, whether it's selling stuff online, whether it's through NFTs, be sure to subscribe to this channel if you want to be able to watch more videos like this one, and smash the like button. This helps the channel out. And today, in this video, I'm going to walk you through how I am stocking up my entire portfolio. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you some of my collection and what are some of the things that I know will absolutely skyrocket when it hits Opensea. So it's happening, and very soon some NFTs that is available on VeVe is going to be openly traded on Opensea. Now, up to this point, there has been a lot of NFTs that isn't associated to any brands or licenses or major companies that's been selling at insane prices, right? Right now, let's face it, you guys have heard me say this multiple times. NFTs is, you know, a huge bubble, and 98% of them, 3 to 5 years from now, will be worth close to nothing. So you want to be really careful about the projects that you're investing in. Right now, everybody's optimistic, and as the saying goes, when everybody's optimistic, it's time to be a little bit skeptical. And when everybody is fearful and skeptical, it's time to be greedy. So if you want to be able to know like how aggressive you should be, just think about what's the current market sentiment. Now, what does this mean? Right now, if you take a look at some projects, right? Let's take a look at this random one, you know, Capsule House. You'll see that these NFTs at the floor price is about 2.6 ETH for these NFTs, right? And which is about $10,000 for one of these images or NFTs. And for example, Pudgy Penguins, kind of cute, but doesn't have any IP or branding. Floor price is, you know, 1.4. And by the way, I'm not hating on any of these projects. In fact, many of these NFTs, in order to understand them, I actually bought many of them to learn about this entire space. But my goal here is to show you how even projects that may not have utility, that is purely just based on artwork, is selling for over 1 ETH. Now, what does this mean? It means that when NFTs for brands like Disney, Batman, DC eventually goes on Opensea, the floor price is going to be significantly higher than NFTs that has got no branding, NFTs that isn't linked to your childhood, and brands that has an affinity with you. However, that being said, VeVe has mentioned not all brands are going to be on Opensea, and it is going to be rolled out in stages. So I know that on stage 1, you're not going to see the Batmans or the Disneys or DC Comics on Opensea. Why? Because if that was the case, VeVe would have already announced it. There's probably some either restrictions, some of the things that they can't say, but the reason why they're not announcing it is probably because they don't have permission to do so just yet from the big brands. So this means that very likely the first phase of the NFTs on VeVe that is going to go on Opensea is going to go up. Why is that the case? Here's why. Well, number one, VeVe is going to be rolling out the Master Collector program. So this means rewarding people that hold specific sets And the more NFTs and the more sets you hold, there are certain perks to it. We're not going to go into detail about that because that's not the purpose of this video. I've got a different video that we've done in the past that goes specifically on the rewards and what it means. Be sure to check it out after you watch this video if you haven't seen it yet. But it means that now there's going to be, when that is rolled out, there's going to be incentive to complete sets. Even the tier D, the non-blue chip NFTs, are going to rise when the master collector is in place. Now, VeVe, chances are, is going to be heavily focused and incentivized to make it a success. Why? Because they want to make sure that everybody wins. So they want to make sure that the artists win. They want to make sure that there's incentives for people to hold not just the tier A Disney NFTs, but also the B, C's, and D tier NFTs. Why is that the case? It is because chances are, in order to secure the big brands like Disney as well as any tier or S tier, right, brand, chances are the contract was probably not that favorable. Chances are they had to forego a big piece of the lion's share when it comes to profit sharing, because they know that by having Marvel and Disney in, they're going to acquire a lot more users just because of having these brands on board. And chances are they would be happy to just merely break even on the front end, as a business is very normal, in order to secure additional users for their branding and positioning. Just the press release to be linked and tied to Disney and Marvel is going to pay off massively over time. So chances are, in order to secure that contract, chances are the royalties and the profit share isn't going to be that great among these companies from VeVe and Disney in order to get them in. So what does this mean? It means that for VeVe, from a business point of view, they want to make sure that the ones that isn't branded, the one that doesn't have their positioning from all these other smaller projects, those are the ones that's easier for VeVe to negotiate with, to get the artists to agree, pushing them over to Opensea first. So what does this mean? Here's what I would suggest, and that's what I'm doing right now. So this means, coming back to the collectible sets, we're not going to take a look at the tier A brands first. We're going to take a look at the lesser known or less popular artists, right? Because chances are these are going to be the ones that's going to be pushed to Opensea first. Now, if you take a look at all these different NFTs, you're going to notice that, first of all, here's why I'm bullish on these NFTs. Right now, the tension on these NFTs aren't high. And if you take a look at, let's say, this Heroes Edition, right? This Heroes Edition, the floor price is about $782 at the time of me shooting this video. And you can see that there's 666 edition or mints, which is extremely low. Now, guess what? Number one, Master Collector status rolls out. There's going to be a lot more people that wants to complete the less popular NFT sets just for the benefits associated to Master Collector, which is something that VeVe is going to consistently work on improving. That's number one. Number two, there's going to be probably less of these NFTs in circulation. Why? Because when people want to hold on to these Master Collector status, there are going to be less flippers. Right now, there's 53 in the market. And this number is only going to decrease. So that means the floor is going to increase. And that's why I'm holding on to these sets. And not to mention the fact that these are probably the sets that's going to be rolled out to Opensea first. So this means that if you want to be able to leverage and make full use of this event that is happening when VeVe NFTs go to Opensea, this would be the different sets to look out for. I would take a look at all of the different collectibles dropped, because all these different sets in here, they're all extremely low mints. They want to make, VeVe wants to make sure they all sell out. So unlike Marvel and Disney and DC, where the collection is significantly higher, these mints are significantly lower, and the demand of this will increase when Master Collector rolls out and when it's migrated to Opensea. So how can you capitalize on the day when it moves to Opensea? Here's what I predict. So right now, everybody's been really bullish, and that's why last week I said when people are bullish, it's time to sell. So literally about 2 weeks ago, I sold a couple of Batmans at an all-time high, and today we're just like slightly about 10 days later, you can buy back the same Batmans, which is what I did, at about 30% less than what they were a week ago or 2 weeks ago. So what does this mean, right? Based on that same concept, right? If you watched my video that I dropped about 2 weeks ago, I listed the resale at $22,000. I sold a couple more Batmans, and guess what? I bought back some of these Batmans at 30% less. And on Opensea, when migration happens, guess what? There's going to be a ton of flippers and botters and people that made significant change over the last year or so. And that is when they want to be able to cash out. And on the day VeVe goes on Opensea, you're going to notice a dip. Right? That's bound to happen. I'm pretty confident that's what's going to happen. Why? Because these are people that's going to be taking profit. These are people that has made 10, 20, 30x their capital, maybe even 100x, just by buying at retail over the last year or so. And now that's when they want to be able to cash out. So they're going to list it on OpenSea, they're going to mint it, they're going to cash out. And that's when supply is going to be high because all of these people are going to cash out. And that's the time you can either buy in because the supply is going to be high, and you got to be able to just have the willpower to hold on for that 1 week or so when it dips and not panic when everybody else is selling. Now that is when a week after you'll notice the price going up again, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So right now what I'm doing is I'm loading up on what I believe will be the first phase of the mints that is happening on VeVe, which is the ones that is not linked to any major brand just yet. Right now, obviously, that being said, that's all speculation. I have pretty strong reason to believe that Disney is not going to be the first wave that's going to be minted, but we'll find out soon enough. And that's why that's my current strategy right now. And that's why I'm selling off right now, but I'm utilizing that money to buy back in when they go on OpenSea on launch day. Okay, so I've been buying and selling. And right now, if you want to follow my same exact strategy, that's what I'm doing. I'm buying the tier B, C, and D NFTs on whenever there are drops, because those are the days when these NFTs usually drop in price as well. And that's my current game plan. If you want to be able to watch more videos like this and be the first to find out what I'm currently doing, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already a subscriber. And as always, in all of my VeVe videos, I'm always selecting 3 different winners for a giveaway for a sold out NFT on VeVe. So all you gotta do to participate is let me know your username in the comments below, together with which NFT on VeVe you think is gonna skyrocket this year. I'll see you in the next video.